I was at my desk when Marcus called. Not my brother. Marcus Chen from Pacific West Title and Escrow. I'd met him twice. Once when I bought the beach house in 2019, and again when I refinanced in 2022. His voice had that careful neutrality people use when they're about to deliver bad news but can't quite say it yet. Ms. Rivera, this is Marcus Chen from Pacific West Title. We're processing a sale transaction for 847 Lighthouse Drive. Your property. My fingers stopped typing. I'm sorry, what? The beach house. Closing is scheduled for next Friday. But our new security protocol requires biometric signature verification for all transactions over $1 million. Can you come to our office Monday at 10 a.m.? I felt cold. The kind of cold that starts in your stomach and spreads. Marcus, I'm not selling the beach house. The pause lasted 3 seconds. I counted. You're not selling it, he repeated slowly. No. I've never listed it. I was there 2 weeks ago. Ms. Rivera, I'm looking at a fully executed purchase agreement. Signed by you. Notarized. The buyers have already released their earnest money. $65,000. That's impossible. Can you hold, please? The hold music was something instrumental and forgettable. I pulled up my email and searched for beach house. Nothing. I checked my spam folder. Nothing. I opened my documents folder and found the original deed from 2019. My signature, my real signature, looped and precise. Marcus came back. Ms. Rivera, don't hang up. I'm conferencing in our fraud investigation team. That's when I knew. Not suspected. Knew. The third voice was female, clipped, professional. Ms. Rivera, this is Janet Kowalski, Director of Fraud Prevention. We need you to answer some questions. Have you granted anyone power of attorney over your property? No. Has anyone had access to your identification documents? I thought about last month. The investor dinner at Lou Bernardine. My brother Ryan showing slides about his startup. Some AI platform for small businesses. Mom beaming. Dad asking technical questions. I'd left my purse at the table when I went to the restroom. My wallet was in there. Possibly, I said. We're freezing the transaction immediately. Do not contact anyone about this conversation. Can you be here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.? Not Monday. Tomorrow. Yes. Bring every piece of identification you have. And Ms. Rivera? If someone forged your signature on a $1.3 million transaction, this is a felony. I sat there after she hung up. My apartment was quiet except for the faint hum of traffic 18 floors below. I'd bought this place with my year-end bonus from the hospital. I was a radiologist. I made good money. I lived simply. And I'd bought the beach house because my grandmother left me $200,000 when she died, and she'd always said, buy something that holds joy. The beach house held joy. Morning coffee on the deck watching surfers. The bedroom that caught sunset. The outdoor shower where you could rinse off salt and sand. I'd painted the shutters navy blue myself. I'd planted lavender along the walkway. Ryan knew all of this. Ryan had stayed there last summer when his startup was between office spaces, and he needed somewhere quiet to code. He'd had keys. I trusted him. I opened my laptop and searched my cloud drive. There it was, a folder I'd never created. Property documents, 847 Lighthouse. Inside were PDFs I'd never seen. A listing agreement with Ryan's digital signature as owner's representative. A purchase agreement showing my signature. Wrong but close. Close enough that if you didn't know my signature's little kick at the end of the in Rivera, you might think it was real. The notary seal looked legitimate. I zoomed in. The commission number was readable. I googled it. Active notary. Los Angeles County. But the signature on the document didn't match the notary's official signature on the state website. Not even close. Ryan had been careful. But not careful enough. I thought about calling him. Confronting him. Asking why. But I remembered what Janet Kowalski said. Don't contact anyone. So I documented everything instead. Screenshots of the cloud folder. Photos of my real signature on my original deed. My credit card statement showing I was in Seattle the day the purchase agreement was allegedly signed in Los Angeles. My key fob data showing entry to my apartment building at the time I was supposedly at the notary's office. I created my own folder. Titled it Evidence. Backed it up 3 times. That night I didn't sleep. I thought about patterns. The failed startups. The investment opportunities that disappeared. Every loan I'd given Ryan that became a gift when he couldn't repay it. I kept thinking, this time will be different. This time he'll succeed and pay me back and prove everyone wrong. But Ryan wasn't going to change. He was a pattern. And the pattern was, take from people who loved him because people who loved him wouldn't prosecute. Except now he'd crossed a line. You can ask for money. You can fail to repay it. You can be a disappointing brother who never quite launches. But you can't forge someone's signature on a $1.3 million property sale and expect family loyalty to cover it. The next morning I arrived at Pacific West Title at 8:45 a.m. The office was in a glass building in Marina del Rey, the kind of place with abstract art in the lobby and coffee that came in real ceramic mugs. Marcus met me in the lobby. He looked tired. "Thank you for coming early," he said. "Janet's already here. So is our legal counsel and a representative from the title insurance underwriter." They'd set up in a conference room. 4 people around a table. Janet Kowalski, a man in his 60s who introduced himself as David Park from the legal team, a woman named Sandra Liu from the insurance underwriter, and Marcus. Janet pushed a document across the table. "Is this your signature?" I looked at it. The purchase agreement. The signature that said, Elena Rivera, but wasn't mine. "No. Can you show us your real signature?" I pulled out my original deed. Signed in front of a real notary in 2019. Then my passport. My medical license. My hospital ID badge. Every signature had the same pattern. The little kick at the end of the way they're looped back. The V that looked almost like a. The forged signature had none of this. It was close. But signatures are like fingerprints. Close doesn't matter. Sandra Liu pulled out a device that looked like a tablet. "This is our biometric signature analyzer. We implemented it 6 months ago for all transactions over 1 million. It scans pressure points, speed, angle of the pen. We're going to ask you to sign your name 5 times. I signed. Each time the device beeped and showed a green check mark. "Now I'm going to show you the signature analysis from the purchase agreement." She tapped the screen. Red. Everywhere red. Different pressure pattern. Different speed. The forger tried to mimic your style but signed much slower with multiple stops. You sign in one fluid motion. This person signed in sections, pausing to check their work. David Park leaned forward. "Ms. Rivera, do you know who might have forged this signature?" I thought about family loyalty. About not wanting to believe it. About all the years I'd made excuses. My brother Ryan. He's the one who benefits. The purchase agreement shows proceeds going to RR Ventures LLC. That's his company. He had access to my identification. He stayed at the beach house. He has keys. Janet made notes on her tablet. "We ran a full property history search this morning. Your brother attempted to refinance the beach house twice in the past year. Both applications were denied due to signature inconsistencies. This was his 3rd attempt. He was getting better at forging your signature." The cold feeling came back. 3 times. 3 times we caught. There may have been others at different institutions. Marcus spoke quietly. "The buyers are legitimate. They had no knowledge of fraud. They hired us to run title insurance because they're careful. They have 2 young kids. They were planning to move in next month." I felt sick. They didn't do anything wrong. "No," Marcus said. "They didn't. The insurance will cover their losses, but they're devastated." Janet pulled out her phone. "I'm calling the DA's office. This is wire fraud, forgery, and attempted theft over $1 million. Ms. Rivera, are you willing to press charges? Family is supposed to be who you protect, who you defend, who you forgive. But family isn't supposed to steal your grandmother's gift. Isn't supposed to forge your name. Isn't supposed to gamble with your future for their startup dreams." "Yes," I said. "I'm pressing charges." The room moved quickly after that. Janet made her call. David Park explained the civil process. Restraining orders, asset freezes, the works. Sandra Liu documented everything for the insurance claim. Marcus printed copies of every document, each one showing another layer of Ryan's planning. "The closing is cancelled," Marcus said. "We're notifying all parties this morning. The earnest money will be returned to the buyers within 48 hours. We're flagging RR Ventures LLC across all title systems in California. And Ms. Rivera, we're recommending you change all locks on the property immediately. I nodded. I was thinking about Sunday dinners. About Ryan showing up with a bottle of wine and a new pitch. About Mom saying, he's just going through a rough patch. About Dad warning me privately, don't lend him any more money. They'd known. Not this specifically. But they'd known the pattern. David Park slid a business card across the table. Detective Sarah Morrison at LAPD's Financial Crimes Unit. She'll be handling the criminal investigation. They'll want to interview you within the week. I left Pacific West Title at 11:30 a.m. with a folder 2 inches thick. Evidence. Statements. Legal documents. A timeline showing 3 separate fraud attempts. I didn't go home. I drove to the beach house. It took 40 minutes down Peach, windows down, salt air filling the car. The lavender was blooming along the walkway. The navy shutters gleamed in the sun. I used my key and went inside. Everything was exactly as I'd left it. The throw pillows I'd arranged. The books on the shelf. The coffee mug I'd forgotten to put in the dishwasher 2 weeks ago. This was mine. I'd earned it. I'd bought it with my grandmother's gift and my own savings and my careful budgeting. And Ryan had tried to take it like it was his right. I called a locksmith. Changed every lock, front door, back door, the storage shed. $847. I called my insurance company and added fraud protection. $23 per month. I called my lawyer and authorized them to cooperate fully with the DA's office. Then I sat on my deck and called my parents. Ryan tried to sell my beach house, I said when Mom answered. He forged my signature. The title company caught it. I'm pressing criminal charges. The silence lasted 5 seconds. Elena, surely there's been some misunderstanding. Mom, I have the forged documents. I have the biometric analysis proving it wasn't my signature. I have evidence he tried this twice before. This isn't a misunderstanding. This is a felony. But he's your brother. And I'm your daughter. And he tried to steal $1.3 million from me. I heard Dad's voice in the background. What's happening? Mom must have put me on speaker because Dad's voice came through clearly. Elena. Ryan forged my signature to sell the beach house. The buyers almost lost $65,000. The title company is cooperating with the LAPD. I'm prosecuting. Dad didn't pause. Good. He needs to face consequences. We'll support whatever you decide. Mom made a sound. Protest or pain or both. I have to go, I said. I'll keep you updated. I hung up. Sat on my deck. Watched the surfers cutting through morning waves. Drank coffee from a real mug, the ceramic warm in my hands. Over the next 3 weeks, the investigation moved systematically. Detective Morrison interviewed me twice, recording everything. She subpoenaed Ryan's bank records and found he'd already spent $45,000 of investor money, counting on the beach house sale to replenish funds. She interviewed the notary whose seal Ryan had copied. He'd never met Ryan, never notarized any document for me. She traced the fake documents back to a print shop in Culver City where Ryan had paid cash. The DA's office built their case methodically. Each piece of evidence created a tighter net. Ryan's business partner Trevor was interviewed and immediately hired his own lawyer. The investors demanded their money back. RR Ventures LLC collapsed within 10 days. Ryan was arrested at Mom and Dad's house. He called me from jail. I didn't answer. He called 6 more times. I blocked the number. Mom sent emails asking if I'd visit him, if I'd hear his side, if I'd consider family counseling. I didn't respond. Dad sent one text, proud of you for standing your ground. 3 months later, Ryan pleaded guilty to avoid trial. Wire fraud. Forgery. Attempted grand theft. The DA's deal. 18 months in county jail, 5 years probation, $127,000 in restitution covering all legal costs, title company expenses and the buyer's damages. He took it. His mugshot appeared in the LA Times business section. Tech entrepreneur pleads guilty to real estate fraud. The article mentioned his promising startup and family property dispute. It didn't mention he'd forged his sister's signature 3 times. It didn't mention the grandmother who'd left me that house money, who'd said, buy something that holds joy. But I knew. And that was enough. Kept the beach house. Refinanced it at a better rate, 2.8%, saving $340 per month. The new title company implemented biometric verification as standard practice for all transactions. Marcus sent me a card saying he was glad it worked out and apologizing that their system hadn't caught the earlier attempts. The buyers who almost bought my house found another property 3 blocks down. They sent me a card thanking me for handling it professionally, for pressing charges, for making sure justice happened. Their kids were thriving by the beach. Sometimes I saw them at the farmer's market on Saturdays. I spent last weekend at the house. Painted the bedroom a soft gray. Replaced the outdoor shower head with one that had better pressure. Planted more lavender. 8 new plants along the fence line. Ryan gets out in 9 months. I've been told through family channels that he wants to apologize. Wants to explain. Wants family reconciliation. I don't plan to be available. Mom still sends emails. He's learned his lesson. He's getting counseling in jail. Family is forever. I respond once every few months with brief updates about my life. Promotion at the hospital, new research project, vacation to Iceland. I don't mention Ryan. I don't engage with her attempts to rebuild what he destroyed. Dad and I have dinner once a month. He never brings up Ryan unless I do. He asks about the beach house. About work. About my life. Last month he said, "Your grandmother would be proud. Not just of the house. Of you defending it." That's the thing about joy. It's not just about having it. It's about protecting it. Even from family. Especially from family. I thought about the gambler's fallacy during those sleepless nights after Marcus's call. The idea that if you keep feeding the slot machine, eventually you'll hit the jackpot. That's what I'd done with Ryan for years. Every failed startup. Every unpaid loan. Every disappointment. I kept thinking, this time will be different. But I finally learned. Some slot machines are rigged. Some games aren't worth playing. Some bets will always lose you money no matter how many times you pull the lever. Ryan gambled with my trust. With my property. With my grandmother's memory. He lost. And I kept my winnings, my peace, my beach house, my boundaries firmly in place. The casino is closed. The slot machine is unplugged. And I'm finally free of the game I never wanted to play. I'm having coffee on my deck tomorrow morning at sunrise. Just me, the surfers, and the house that holds everything my grandmother wanted me to have. Not just property but the spine to defend it. The lavender is blooming. The shutters are navy blue. The locks are new. And the house is mine. Legally, morally, completely mine. Some things are worth protecting. Some boundaries are worth enforcing. Some family members are worth losing. I've learned to tell the difference.